Hi, I'm Christian Triola, author of The Missing Method for Guitar books, kind of like the one you see here over my shoulder. Alright, in this video I'm going to show you how to play the acoustic guitar part for the Social Distortion song Ball and Chain. Now, Ball and Chain was off their very first album. The song itself was written in 1987 and it made their debut album in 1990. But also, Mike Ness, who was their lead singer and main songwriter, also put out a solo album in 1999 called Under the Influences, where he played a bunch of songs that influenced him to write songs and to become a musician. And on that album, one of the things that he did is he took Ball and Chain and turned it into a kind of a classic country honky-tonk type song. Which was an unusual choice, but when you kind of listen to Mike Ness's stuff, it makes perfect sense. And it sounds cool. Now, I prefer the 1990 version personally, and one of the things I really like about it is the instrumentation. They've got crunchy electric guitars, drums, bass, like you normally would have, but then they have this acoustic guitar part that just kind of plays nicely in the background, providing this really cool backdrop for the rest of the song. In fact, whenever you can blend electric guitar and acoustic guitar seamlessly like that, you've got my ear. I love that sound and I think it sounds fantastic. All right, so now let's get to playing it. Now, the song isn't necessarily known for its acoustic part, but since this is such a cool part, I think it's well worth learning. It's great for new students to learn. So let's take a look at the first chord. The first chord in the song is D major. You can find that, of course, in Guitar Chord Master Basic Chords, which is available on the website, themissingmethod.com. So to get that D chord, if you're not familiar with it, your index finger goes on the 3rd string 2nd fret. Your middle finger goes on the 1st string 2nd fret. Your 3rd finger goes on the 2nd string 3rd fret, until it looks like what you see here. Now, when you strum it, you only want to strum 4 strings, because that 4th string is the note D, so it gives you a nice solid D chord. If you strum the A, it still sounds good because that A is part of the chord, but now you're switching out the lowest note, which typically you don't want to do unless they tell you to. So we got that D chord to start. The next one is A major. To go from D to A, I like to keep my index finger in place, move the middle finger over to the 4th string 2nd fret, and then put the ring finger on the 2nd fret of the 2nd string. So that way they're all kind of bunched together, they're all on the 2nd fret, but by keeping that index finger in place, I just had to scoot it back a little to get A. And so when you strum A, you just need the 5 strings there. So that's chord number 2. The next one is technically called G5. And the reason for that is it's a G chord, but your middle finger actually mutes the 5th string. So you don't need the index finger on the 1st fret of the 2nd string. And then up top, you have your pinky on the 1st string 3rd fret, 3rd finger, 3rd fret, on the 2nd string. So when you put that all together, it's technically G5 because the note B, which you need in a G chord, isn't there any longer. And it does sound good. It kind of fills it out. And it matches nicely then with the G5 power chord that the electric guitar is playing. So you don't have too many notes that are trying to compete with each other. And then finally, after that chord, it returns to the D chord one more time. So those are the only 3 chords in the song. We got a D, we got an A, we got a G5. So now let me show you how you strum that. On all the chords, you strum it the same way. You have down, down, up, hold, up, down, up. It's a pretty classic strumming pattern. Down, down, up, down, up. Now, what you don't want to do is stop swinging your wrist on that pause. Down, down, up. I strum down, I let my hand go down, but without playing the strings, so I'm ready for the next up. So down, down, up, down, up. Then you switch chords and do the same thing. Down, down, up, down, up. Switch chords again. same thing. And then finally back to the D. And that's the slowed down version. Obviously it's a lot faster than that, but that'll give you an idea of how to start it. You want to start off slow, so you give yourself time to get it under control. You can hear where the chords change, and it helps you to learn it for a longer period of time. So here it is again slowly. All right, and here it is at full speed. So we have 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And of course, that just continues throughout the whole song. Now, if you notice, that strumming pattern also includes swing eighth notes or a shuffle feel. So it's not 1, 2, and 4, and. Instead, we have 1, 2, and 4, and. So you got the first part of the eighth notes are a little longer, the second parts are a little shorter. Long, short, long, short, long, short, long, etc. So you get the idea there. All right, if you just listen to that song, you'll get that swing feel pretty easily if that's not something you've done before. Just make it sound like the song. So that's Social Distortion's Ball and Chain. To play that, you just keep repeating that over and over again. In the pre-chorus section, there is a break where he just holds on right on the G chord, sings, and then it comes right back in. Etc. All right, so I hope you enjoyed learning the acoustic guitar part to Social Distortion's Ball and Chain. If you did, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. I always appreciate it when people do that. Also, check out themissingmethod.com. You'll find out more about the Guitar Chord Master series, and you'll see whatever we're coming out with next. We have new books coming out all the time, so definitely check in there. And if you come on that site and sign up for our newsletter, you'll get a free ebook as well, so don't forget that. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed that video. Have fun, enjoy the tune, and keep practicing.